to the Serendipitous Deck Sermons. I promised myself I wasn't gonna as much. Being that these are now falling in time with a couple days grace to the new moon, the full moon, the different moon phases, whilst I go straight into finding us a card from the Serendipitous deck today and allowing its energy to speak to us, I'm going to say this out loud in front of them as well, so that hopefully this can be supportive as far as where we are at in the moon phases. The new moon is the one that is coming up next. And I acknowledge that it is a time in which we have come to know as the period of time of beginnings, of setting intentions, that then we, look to harvest at the full moon. And I thought on this and I wrote on it for a little bit because I didn't necessarily want to go down the exact same route that I've seen before. I would like this to be coming personally from the way that I would read through this myself. And so what I bring to you whilst I have the music playing and some time of quiet, and you don't need to have a pen or paper for this. You may speak it out loud if you would like. That is absolutely up to you because this is your journey. You are in a space where your light and your dark are both accepted because your whole self is exactly the way that it's supposed to be right in this moment. You are made exactly the way you are supposed to be. Being that it is a time for planting a seed, I thought maybe let's think about ourselves as the seed instead of as the planter. We are both, in a sense. But being that we either bury a seed in dirt or cover it and douse it in water and then cover it sometimes with like a paper towel, one way or another, it is getting into a place of solitude before it then has a journey of transition and then harvest and bloom. And then, eventual death. And there is a much quicker cycle with a seed, perhaps, than things that we are actually growing through within our own lives and such. And we'll get to those other phases throughout the next few weeks. For now, whilst this is occurring, what I would like for you, if you feel called to, you can absolutely sit in silence. You can meditate, however it is that this moment calls to you, because, that is your journey. And the fact that you are showing up for something like this is something that you are allowed to feel proud about, because whether it's me or someone else that's speaking on things that are spiritual, acknowledging one's own consciousness, one's existence as an individual, yet also amongst many individuals that all make up a collective, and the all, which is the universe, that is allowing us as a collective to get to a place where we are acknowledging the responsibility of what it is to exist as a part of an energetic body. Not our own individual vessel, like the energetic body, that is the energetic field, that is Earth, that is the universe, that is any space that you ever inhabit and take up, no matter the form that you are housed in. And as much as we are really coming to know, which I'm very proud of, that there is the ability to therefore, with that consciousness, manifest our greatest desires and live a life that is heaven on earth and create heaven on earth. There's also responsibilities as much as there are rights to any existence, which, throwback to my home economics class for that one. But it's always sat with me as it makes the most sense, because I think underneath the current structure of lack of capitalism, it's very inviting that there are other ways to draw energy and things that we need towards us. And I think that it's important for us to learn that. And I also think there is a responsibility to the way that we influence the energy that's around us. 444 on the recording. That's what I was saying that for. So with that in mind, because it starts in a place of acceptance moving forward, always does. Any change, we need to know where it is that we are at before we make steps forward. That is the best place to begin, in a real whole way from. And so this is not necessarily an exercise in there needing to be any definite change made or like demand made of you. This because it is about you sitting in the darkness with yourself. You can close your eyes, you can actually make the whole room dark, however it is that makes it the most sense to you. I invite you to, I apologize for the neighbors above, be honest with yourself about one thing. It can be something that you have acknowledged before. This does not necessarily need to be a new exercise as far as the thing that you learn about yourself. But sit with your eyes closed. Breathe in and out. And in that space and time, because I'll pick this card in a second here, and then you can actually have space to be with this for yourself. Something that you wouldn't necessarily want to say out loud to someone else. It can be something you actually want to say to somebody, but mostly I would encourage you to look inward at something that you don't like to give attention within yourself. Maybe a part of our shadow self, yes? Which we all have. And so, in the dark, allowing something that you keep secret from yourself or from others to be spoken and mostly acknowledged. And then I would like for you to sit in just observance of that thing about yourself without you needing to now redefine your opinion about yourself, without ever having the fear of saying it out loud or having like in front of people or having them accept you about this. This is not about anything past, just the moment of acknowledging, of acceptance, and then of loving yourself, even with that being a part of your whole. Because that you're more than deserving of that love, of that acceptance. So yeah, you are loved because you exist. Hopefully that's something that you already practice and know, but I don't think we can hear it enough as we move into new consciousness as a human species. And then I would like the mantra, if this would help specifically, for you to be, I accept this about myself. And just sit and be in however that is that makes you feel. And then if that calls for you to journal about it, go right ahead. This space is as much for you as it is for us all. I will come back to you shortly in a couple minutes here. it's already recording. Okay, so I'm back. I hope that exercise met you where you are at, and that you allowed yourself to also meet you where you are at exactly in acceptance. Because the way that you are, the truest you, the way you were created, whether it's stuff that's positive or negative, is stuff and energies that are necessary, are needed, and it's not even that you need to find a way to like project those outwards or give them to others or any of that kind of thing. It's more like you within your own self accepting something about yourself, whether you tell anyone about it or not, is felt in this energy field. So yeah, what it is that you just did, whether it was just sit in the dark, whether it was have a dance and ignore what it is that I was doing here, whether it was to sit with the exercise that I gave, whatever way it was that you showed up for that, be proud of yourself for showing up for yourself exactly the way that you needed to in that moment. That's all we can do, right? Okay, so I'm so grateful for the energies of this card today. It's been a week. Neptune, right, went direct and literally every day since on the day and the day after, and it's just been beautiful nose, not nose, like, or clarity about something that I'd wondered about or whatever. A couple really large things that I felt attached to, I got clarity on, and regardless of whether things work out how it is maybe we think we want it to, or we actually wanted it to, or however, not like, oh, there's more in store, there's better in store. Those things are true. But also what it is that is not for you will hopefully just avoid you, will stay away, will say no, you're not hired, etc. Because if it's not for you and it does say yes and pull you into its energy, that then means there is like this whole extra part of a journey, a leg of a journey that you now need to go down to realize for, and that's sometimes necessary. Sometimes there's a part that we still kind of needed to figure out, and so this is the path that we go down, and it's not necessarily always about it having to be like a U-turn, but you know, anyway, just to learn to accept when things don't go the way we thought, or our way, or the way we maybe hoped, or whatever. There is more to the story always, and I'm affording you the trust and faith that I currently hold in that out to you right now, in case that isn't something you have the faith and trust in yet. So the A for Ants card. It's cutie. Now it's lovely because it actually like has this back part that says creative child games, and there's like children running around above me and everything, and it's a very aligned card with this moment, but I really did try to just be with it. And actually it's cool because I haven't gotten a location from the last two reads that I've done with the Serendipitous deck on this. This was the Rathgar area in Dublin. It's not necessarily somewhere everyone is going to know, but it is a area on the south side of Dublin. It seems small, but I feel like it's got like quite the stretch of an area now that I think about it. Any hoops. So there was that. There's like the energy that I kind of get from that area, all wrapped up in this, with like there being just this energy of abundance, of warmth, of greenery, which is abundant for a suburb. So that was a lovely energy. Initially, there was just like, it wasn't loud at all. It was like super gentle. And because of the last week's one, I was like, oh, I'm not hearing this much. It might be because there's so much going on around me. And then I realized that there was like this lovely warm oval just like around me energetically. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. And it was like in like a soft oval shape. And it wasn't any glaring colors. It was sort of maybe like reds and oranges, but warm. There was also, when I asked it for a color itself, I heard green, but then like a warm green. So maybe like a tree or sorry, an abundant like bush, like lots of leaves and maybe little red berries, but like in the sunlight, right? And then where'd it go next? Oh yes, the letter D. So that was a part of that. Surrounded in an oval. Oh yeah, the cushion almost. It felt like the warmth that was around me was like a cushion, almost like, I don't want to say like the way that a vagina like is cushiony and surrounds the thing that, but like that. Very comforting. A consenting vagina. Then warm, dark path? What's this? Clear. Sorry. A clear path. My writing is loopy. So with flowers on either side, and it's like one of those walked in kind of clay hiking paths, so it felt like a very safe place to be, but also like surrounded again in like this greenery and abundance, and like it's going somewhere that is safe, that it's in a space that's safe. It's not like a path at nighttime. This was definitely like in the sunlight, and yes, it's a walked path, but it also feels like the energy that I was seeing it with was like the way that a child would see the world, where like many people may have walked this path, but two when I said that. But there's a perspective about looking at something that maybe has been done many times before that creates it to be something that's different because of fresh eyes on it. And the childlike optimism, no, that wasn't the right word. The childlike acceptance and excitement and ability to make games out of things and see the fun in something. Not alone was another energy that was coming through. In that there was also this energy of like, it was like there's someone just like right there. Like I was holding the card out here and I kept like pulling it towards me because it was like, not like it needed and wanted to be hugged, but like it was wanting to hug me, and like it's, inviting and loving and accepting energy. Oh damn, this is like super. Yes, thank you, deck. And thank you, spirit guides, for yes. Okay, so digging in soil, that was another fun one too. Because I was like, oh, I was like speaking about planting stuff, but this was like the digging in soil that you do to like make a clay pizza thing that you're gonna make as a child, and like it's not edible, but and you put berries on the top or whatever. Well, I did that anyway, and then oh yeah, the other thing, the memory that like came back that was in mixed with this is like going to IMAX theaters. Before 3D existed, there was IMAX. Well, I mean 3D existed, but like IMAX theaters, anyone else remember those? And you'd like put the glasses on, and there was like three maybe options for films. I don't think there was, maybe there was just two. It was like an underwater one, maybe a space one. And it's the energy of like going to something like that where it's super wondrous and like so exciting and very entertaining, especially from a child's point of view. Like, what is this wondrous thing? But you're safe because you can just take the glasses off at any point and it becomes 2D again and very blurry. And so therefore the shark won't get you. It's just a screen. But like that, where there's adventure, but it's like within the safe bounds. Actually, that was kind of the energy of like the path that's there, where it's like, okay, this, thanks card. Yeah, real but safe. Knowing the way but unpredictable was another part, because it felt like when I was thinking about this path that's been walked many times, that it's like hardened, walked in dirt, and there's like lovely abundant wildflowers on the side of it. It did bring me back specifically to this hike that's in Oregon, but like this is applicable anywhere. It's more of an energy thing anyway. And then it translates through ways that I've experienced the world, because I'm the vessel that is channeling this right now. it's not to know, like, this path is out in the wild, right? So it's like anyone could walk it at any time and have a different experience without even it being specific to it having the child perspective part. There's always just like different experiences to be had in different spaces. So that's cool. Also, there was like one word that was like I was trying to hear specifically, and it was like it would begin. So I wrote down a few of them. And I got 3, and then like this shape, which had kind of like an 8 with like a 9 coming out of it. It was the word apology, which I feel like isn't correct, but I'm going to say it because I wrote it and that might be useful for someone. So there's apology, and then I got learning. And I'm also feeling like analogy is actually like what it is that I was hearing instead of apology. But yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with those, and I am going to now, just for a sec, so that you can receive this in a more clear way, call in my guides and then allow that energy with grace, only if you are willing to accept it. And if you are willing to accept it, say, I receive this Reiki healing in this moment in time. Something simple like that, or exactly those words. That would be the most helpful. So one moment. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for allowing that healing, that lovely warm energy. Okay. And so I am not doing another extra pull of a card today. Oh, actually, now that I'm saying that, there's one that's something's calling us, so we're gonna listen. Oh, y'all have faced the wrong way for this currently. Okay, a card that is speaking out to us for this reading to leave these people with something that is an energetic guide. I am presence. Light body activation, accessing the divine within. I love the universe. So this is the photo. I do have a light situation going on, but okay, I'll hold it a little bit further back. There we go. All right. So, in case you have ever wondered, perhaps something to envision as far as your light body, as in the body that's made of the energy that is housed and creates you as your own individual self. Something like this can be always like a good visual guide if it's something that's like maybe difficult to ground yourself in and understand. That within the core of this earth, you are connected to it just by energy that moves down. So you have the ability always to ground yourself regardless of what floor of a building that you live on, because energy does not know time and space, which is also why I'm able to put a Reiki healing in here and only allow it to move to you with grace from your soul guides through energetic space and time. Therefore, it also, you know, you can be on the 12th floor, the millionth floor, or whatever. Hopefully they never make a building that tall, Jesus. And you can ground. That is something available to you. Geez, the lighting is just like... Whoop, that's not better. But yeah, this is how, when we begin to realize and see ourselves, you realize like, oh, I'm affecting things that are further out from me. And activating this, understanding it, is beautiful, but it does come with accepting your whole self as you are, because loving you as your own individual being is an extension and the beginning of us accepting where we really are in the wholest sense, as a species, as an existing vessel of the universe experiencing itself through like a physical form, and therefore then making the changes within and in our societies that create heaven on earth, that make it what it is that we all wish and deserve for ourselves and our children, and etc. Okay, well, thank you, deck, for that. And I have two quotes that jumped out at me from the teabag things. It's not always going to be from these tea bags, but I swear, I bought this chai tea, and I bought it specifically because the box mentions like chakras, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, there's ones you can buy different teas for, like, communing with each chakra or healing each chakra. This, I got one for aligning all of the chakras, and it's this chai tea, and it doesn't have caffeine in it, or it doesn't have black tea in it specifically, but it has all these other, oh god, it's so good. So one of them is, that time we take is the time which gives us something. And the other one is, that which is today is joy. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully this takes you through your week. You can come back and visit it at any point in time, and it will be here. And then next Sunday, I will move on to our practice of the first quarter stage of the moon, because I realized when I was writing about the 4 different stages of the moon that I will be moving through, this is obviously many of them, throughout the month, that I rarely, and I feel like in general, I mean, they're not as sexy, right? The ones that are the quarter moons, like, they're always there in the sky looking gorgeous, because, I mean, it's the moon. But, like, the full moon and the new moon are ones that I know the process is for, and I feel like they're very exercised. The quarter and the third quarter stage of the moon, the ones that are in between, they're intriguing. So tune in for that. And yeah, thank you for being, and thank you for your attention today.